I live on Rockingham Road in Mentor. Mr. Heath, Mr. Wade, board members. I strongly urge you to vote no on the upcoming resolution to support the Ohio BOE resolution. My Catholic faith teaches me that if we are to follow Jesus and live the gospel, we need to love each other and not intentionally inflict pain. Unfortunately, the Ohio BOE resolution, if passed, will inflict serious emotional pain on our most vulnerable students by the seemingly innocent statement urging the Ohio General Assembly to, quote, safeguard opportunities of women and girls in schools and sports, unquote. Let's be clear, this is a direct attack on the LGBTQ plus community and on trans female athletes in particular, in a cruel and mean-spirited attempt to ban our most vulnerable students from high school sports. The Ohio BOE resolution is dangerous for several reasons. First, the Center for Disease Control has recently published the Youth Risk Survey, which identifies LGBTQ plus students as being at high risk for violence, depression, and suicide. This attempt to ban trans female athletes from sports sends the message, we do not want you here, you do not belong here. And based on data from the 2021 survey of students, that message will put our most vulnerable trans female students at greater risk for damaged mental and emotional health and wellness. Second, the Ohio High School Athletic Association already has very clear rules and guidelines in place for the eligibility and continued participation of trans female athletes in sports. Third, the Ohio Board of Education has made the following statement, expressing an unwavering commitment to education that empowers each student to flourish. However, depriving a student of the opportunity to participate in sports due to sexual orientation fails to create an environment where a student can flourish. It does just the opposite. It creates a cruel environment of rejection and hatred, setting up an already vulnerable student not only for academic failure, but also increasing the risk for depression and suicide. The district's vision statement states as the very first point, together we will ensure a safe learning environment. If you truly believe each student deserves a safe learning environment, emotionally and physically safe, then I urge you to vote no on this resolution. Together, as a community, we have an obligation to protect all students regardless of sexual orientation. Thank you.
All right, I'll wait for my time. I'm Annie Anderson. I had three. I have one child left in the school district. My transgender daughter, who's amazing, who just spoke, just had to leave, not because of the school board, but because of the students in the school, because the parents that keep talking at these meetings come in and they treat transgender people as subhuman, and then your children come in and treat my daughter as subhuman. So she then comes to me every day crying in the bathroom, on the phone, Mom, please pick me up. Mom, I don't want to be here anymore. I know this seems like politics to everybody else. It's not. It's my daughter's life. She's 13. She deserves some respect. Transgender people deserve respect. And I don't care if you don't understand it. Read a book about it. No.
Just talk to me, please.
Okay, Mr. Tuttle, why is the Shea resolution being brought up? What is it going to do to benefit the Mentor School District? What is it going to do? I'll direct it at you. We can do it.
That's right. I said earlier we're going to discuss this on the agenda, and we will answer that question.
Okay, but
Others may have that
if
same
other people are asking for shock and awe, I'm asking because it directly affects my daughter's life. What are we doing? Why are we trying to even put this out there? Do you know what it does? I'll tell you. Let me tell you what's going on. I'm getting emails that the GOP around this area are, let's see, what does it say? Hello all, tomorrow evening's Mentor School Board meeting, Tom Tuttle will be presenting a resolution to keep boys out of girls' sports. To be proposed resolution to use some GOP support. This is really effective to save women's sports. Fearmonger, fearmonger, more fearmonger. Let's get everybody up here. Get them angry. Get them loud. Why? So you can scare the hell out of the trans kids that go to this school? That's what's happening. Because I'm getting messages from the kids. Because they know that I'm the only one that's up here speaking up. That's speaking truth to power. Guess what? I'm not going anywhere. Even if my daughter doesn't go to this school, get a hold of me. If you need somebody, if you need help, get a hold of me. Look me up. I'm Ann Anderson. If you need to learn something, God forbid, about the trans community, look me up. I'm not hard to find. I grew up in here. I went to Mentor. I graduated from Mentor in '95. There were trans kids there here when I went. Guess what? None of this was happening then. None of this was happening then before. Enough. This is a direct attack on an already vulnerable community. It needs to be shut down because other school districts are they're not listening. Columbus laughs at stuff like this because they know how transphobic and homophobic and insulting it is. It's just plain insulting. I don't know why 2 school board members are okay with it. Why? I don't know. Yeah, I know. It's rough.
Thank you.
Good evening, board. President Tuck. I'm going to address most of this to you as you have requested. This is regarding the share resolution. President Tuck, are you a religious man? It's okay, you don't got it.
Wait, I attend Mass on Sundays.
Gotcha.
Or Saturday. So-
Gotcha. Okay. You know the Bible?
No.
Understood. There's this passage in Mark that's really interesting. It talks about these Pharisees trying to trick Jesus about taxes. And he says, look at the coin. Whose face do you see? You know what he says? Caesar. And Jesus says, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God's. And I find that interesting because I think we are a public school, a public district, not a Christian district, not a Christian school. So if you appreciate or follow, abide by any of those adjectives of the Bible, what would you be called to do? There was a comment that was made about the Pledge of Allegiance, and I chuckled and it popped in my head. It says, one nation under God, not Jesus. I found that interesting, because Christians don't own Jesus. Christians don't own God, I'm sorry. Christians don't own God. You don't have to be a Christian to believe in God. So when people of faith, Christians, sit in spaces like this and use their Christian faith to oppose, to push legislation or resolutions that will literally harm and leave defenseless, what did you say? The least of these? That's problematic. I know that you brought this resolution up. I get it. And there are a lot of people here who came just because you did. But I ask you to really consider whether our religious freedom gives us the right to our beliefs, or our right to use those beliefs to discriminate against and to oppose those who don't agree with us or who we believe our religion tells us to oppose. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Jen Simmons. I live in Mentor on the Lake. A lot of hate in this room tonight. I can feel it. A lot of hate. So, I'm going to try to bring a little brevity. I want to tell you about my kid. But first of all, let me go with my prepared speech so I stay on time. So scientific studies, blah, 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 exist that show that there are differences in a transgender person's brain, confirming that transgenderism is not a lifestyle choice. Let me repeat that. It is not a lifestyle choice, nor is it a product of grooming or any other slurs du jour. We are not here to talk about that. I think we're all tired. I think that's something we can all agree on. I know I am. I'm tired of feeling that by merely existing, my kid is in jeopardy. I'm tired of hearing from my well-meaning loved ones that we should urge our kids to tone it down. Don't draw attention to yourself. Lay low. Lay low. In other words, don't be you. We got one shot on this planet. We just came out of a pandemic. One shot. Is that living telling somebody to not be themselves? I don't think so. My son is 23 years old, and he faces all the same problems typical of all the other kids of that age. But on top of that, he's discriminated against simply for being who he is. He's been assaulted twice already, just simply because he's existing in this world as a trans male. Just so y'all know, my son wouldn't hurt a fly. And I'm going to give you an example of that. And I actually called him before I came tonight to ask his permission to share this quick story. My son is terrified of spiders, just like his mama. He refuses to kill them. Instead, he finds a jar or whatever happens to be handy nearby to capture the spider while squirming, to release it back outside. And every single time he does that without fail, he will turn to me and say, "It deserves to live, Mom." You might be terrified by my son's existence. You may not understand my son. You may not understand me or my family, and hey, you wouldn't be the first, and you sure won't be the last. But please, please now hear me when I say that all my son wants are the same things your sons want. To live, laugh, and love. Thank you.